Every once in a while, I'll have a friend or person here on YouTube or someone on Facebook message me and ask, Donnie, are you happy about being gay? Has it been a positive experience for you? And usually it takes me a few minutes to answer that question because in my mind I'm like, how do I answer this? Because really it's not been a super positive experience all the time. In fact, I would say that 50-50, I would say that it's not been a good experience. Like, half of it's been good, half of it has not been good. And I tell people usually that I'm happy that I'm out. I'm happy that I have the level of confidence that I have right now at this point in my life. And I'm happy about the person that I've become. But I'm not happy about a lot of the experiences that I've gone through that's turned me into the person that I am. So the person that I've become, yay. The experiences, not yay. And of course, most people look at me like, well, you seem really out and proud and happy about it. What do you mean? And I usually tell people, hey, it's not coming out necessarily that's always the obstacle, because for many people coming out is an easy experience. For me, it was difficult at first, because I was going through some family turmoil and things like that, but what was the cherry on top of that difficulty essentially was coming out in a very sexually polarized community where your worth is solely based on your sexual expertise or whether or not you've had sexual experiences. And that got very scary for me. The hardest part about being gay for me was being reduced to an object all the time, and to this day I still am. I really feel like a lot of my own worth is based on my body or my sexual experiences, and I feel like a lot of gay men are trained based on exposure and based on cultural stigmas to kind of keep this little resume in their minds of how many sexual experiences they've accumulated, how many notches on their belt they have. And many times, like, when you go on dates, people will flat out ask you, so, how many times have you, had sex with someone, tell me. Like, I've actually had guys be like, tell me about your sexual triumphs. I've actually had a person talk to me that way and ask in that way, and I'm just like, aren't we here to get to know each other for more so than just our sexual experiences? And if I ever get into the conversation of talking about myself as an individual, beyond sex, it immediately turns someone off and they don't really care because, again, we're trained to believe that our only worth is that part of ourselves, and I don't think that's right at all. In fact, it's very demoralizing and depressing, and I cannot begin to tell you how many years I've been depressed, or situations where I've been depressed about this kind of thing. In the gay community, there's also this mystification of men who have not had any sexual relations, and this was my case when I first came out, because I came out when I was 19. Sometimes that's considered an older age to come out, and I had not had any sexual experience. I had never even been intimate with anyone before, and gay men found that exciting, and it led to my first sexual experience, which was being sexually assaulted. And for the longest time, I never really acknowledged the fact that what happened to me was sexual assault until I got counseling when I was in college and told my counselor about my experiences, and that's when both her and I came to the realization that this happened, and this was wrong. And now that I look back on it, back on the past 10 years, since it's been 10 years since I came out, so many gay men have talked to me about being sexually assaulted or described situations where they have just caved and been sexual or been coerced, and that scares me very much. Especially for people who are coming out today in an environment where dating apps or sex apps are so inundated with sex that, we're still being taught that our only value is sex. There is nothing more to us. I don't want other people to go through what I've gone through or what other gay men have gone through. And the problems that exist right now are not only this, but the fact that there is no conversation about it. And if there is a conversation, it's very small and menial, And most men operate under the idea of, oh, well, it was just sex, you know, it's no big deal, like, get over it. I've actually had gay men tell me to get over it about being sexually assaulted. And that mentality, I think, is very toxic. And I feel pity for many of those people because in my mind, those people have gotten to a point where they have given up on seeing more on themselves than just their sexual capabilities or their sexual history. If I were to think of a solution for this, the only solution would be talking about it, drawing light to it. And that's why I tell people that being gay isn't always sunshine and rainbows. It isn't. I love being gay, and I love the community that we've created, but our community still has a lot of work to do. We have a lot of conversations that need to happen, like this one about sexual assault. We have conversations about viewing each other as being more than our bodies, more than our sexual abilities. And until those conversations happen, there will not be forward momentum. And I guess the truth is, because of this, being gay is a very lonely experience for many. And it has been for me, because being sexually assaulted, it's like being that being my first sexual experience, I was damaged for a long time. I was afraid of intimate contact. It turned off a lot of gay men. If I ever mentioned that I was sexually assaulted to gay men, they would be like, oh, well, I'm not interested in you. Or, oh, you're damaged goods. And that's very difficult being in a community where sex is weighed with such great value. When that is your only value and you are damaged in that way, you don't fit in. And that's another conversation we need to have. I feel like if we valued each other for more than our bodies and sex, there wouldn't be this level of ostracizing. But I wanted to reflect on that today because I've just been contemplating the past 10 years. So, anyway, thank you guys for taking the time to watch this. I know it's kind of a difficult topic to discuss, but please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. If you were a LGBTQ person and you've gone through this experience, or if you've had difficulty, please comment your experiences in the comment section if you want to share them. I just want to create a community where we can support each other and openly talk about our stories and our experiences without ostracizing one another in any way. But anyway, thank you guys. And you have a good rest of your day.